What's going on, everybody? This is your girl, Brittany, and we're back again with another episode of the Black Picture Podcast. You down with BPP?
Yeah, you know me.
Okay, you
Yes, sir.
with it. All right, well, he does know. And for those who don't, the Black Picture Podcast, we explore films and television series that star Black actors and are made by Black filmmakers. We also interview and speak with filmmakers and industry professionals about their experience and highlight their work, paying homage to the creators and artistry of not just Black cinema, but films that showcase diversity. Like this month, we have a special guest. He was our second place winner at the Indie Picture Show Fall Festival. We'll give it up for him. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know who you are and everything that you have going on.
For sure. This your boy, Jacques Traylor, a.k.a. Big Joc, a.k.a. your favorite country cousin. I'm a filmmaker based in Atlanta, born and raised. I own a creative agency called Creators After Dark. We just celebrated 10 years in business.
Mm-hmm. Good. Congratulations. Pew, 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 pew.
For sure. And I'm a writer. I have 2 books out, The Play Don't Care Who'll Make It and A Child Sings in the Ghetto. And I'm just out here trying to create different mediums and bring Atlanta into the art world as much as I can.
Right. But not just film, but like you said, you're a writer. What is the Creators After Dark? Is that what the name of it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. What do you guys showcase? Rather?
So Creators After Dark is a creative agency. I used to call it an incubator just for my ideas, but now it's an incubator for like just Black creatives, period. What we do basically is we create experiences. So we do art shows, we do photo shoots, we do marketing campaigns, we do R&B shows, we do listening parties, we make movies, we write books, we write magazines, we create magazine covers. We create basically we show artists and creatives the proper way to brand themselves. Right. And whether that's us partnering directly with the artist or doing our own stuff, like we have our own series. We got an art show series called Spectrum that I am trying to bring back. So if you are a visual artist, holla at me. We would love to get some curators together and bring that back. Little Blue Room, which is our R&B series. Blue Room Sessions, kind of like our tiny desk. And we have our own venue, the Blue Room Studios over in East Point, that we're based out of. That's the office right now. And yeah, we're trying to, I call it the Apple for creatives.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So talk to us about how did you get into writing and directing and filmmaking and all of the creative endeavors that you do?
When I was a kid, shout out my boy Isaiah. I ain't seen him in like 20-something years. but he called me like 2 years ago and it reminded me of this. When I was a kid, my imagination was all over the place. So I used to write comic books when I was like in elementary school, and he reminded me of that. And I used to be real detailed about like the dialogue, but I couldn't draw.
Right.
So the comic book stage kind of died out, but I kept writing stories. And I remember in 8th grade, my teacher, Mr. Davis, Black man, got mad at me because we was talking about Africa, and I was writing in my journal. And he was like, "What are you doing that's so important that you don't need to know about the state of Africa right now?" And he stole my journal basically for 4 days. Oh. He never gave it back. And then Friday, he comes back and he's like, "Yo, what were you doing?" He said, "What is this?" I said, "I'm writing a story." He said, "Boy, I took that home and read it, but it's interesting. You got something here. Stop doing it in my class."
Yeah.
And he had put the corrections and all that, and he the first person to ever show me this how a script looks. And he was real like instrumental in that because he did stuff that he probably shouldn't have did. Like he showed me Spike Lee do the right thing in 8th grade. We watched Malcolm X. We saw School Days. We saw a lot of stuff we shouldn't have seen, but we watched it with him, and he would be like, "Yeah, this is how, this is how scripts are made. This is how this is made." Went to high school. Basically, my dream started there too. High school was like, that's when I knew I wanted to be a screenwriter. Because I remember we had a project to explain what we want to do in our lives. I said, I want to make movies. And I just kept doing it. I didn't really get a chance to make a movie until I was 21. But the dream was always there to figure it out.
Right. Well, that's cool. I was like, after I watched The Color Purple, I guess like in Mobile, because that's where I'm from, we didn't have anybody who knew anything about filmmaking as far as like within my circle to know like, hey, this is how a script goes, boom, boom, boom. I had to research it.
You're from Mobile?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because
I went to Alabama State.
Okay.
And if you know anything about Mobile, Alabama,
State, right. Everybody went there.
95% of Mobile
What's
attends Alabama State.
Exactly. Kelvin and I had this conversation because I was like, in Mobile, they push HBCUs. Either you're going to Alabama State or you're going to Alabama A&M.
What high school you was to?
I went to Viager.
Oh, it was gonna be so funny. You said LaFleur.
Oh no, I didn't go to LaFleur.
Cause we had my whole dorm was LaFleur guys, like the Gator shit. I was like, what's going on here?
But yeah, so they push HBCU heavy. We had this conversation the other day. But either way, like nobody was like, this is how a script goes. So I researched it and still was like, oh, this sounds fun, like a fun industry to be in, but I don't know how to get there. So I ended up going to school for sports broadcasting because I wanted to be a sports reporter and all this stuff. But then I was like, wait, I don't want to be in front of the camera anymore. That's going to take a lot of work. So I didn't know about filmmaking until I got to college. I went to the University of Alabama. And then I switched my major my sophomore year. So I think that was cool to know, like, early on, like, you were introduced to screenwriting and, like, that's what you went for. It was trial and error for me.
So it was trial and error for me, too, because I have to tell people this all the time. I'm like, when you grow up in Atlanta, it was not like how it is now.
Right.
There wasn't videos. There wasn't studios. There was none of that. It was patchwork recording studio and maybe some warehouses. I think studio space in Atlanta has always been around, but that was it. There wasn't really like no film hub. And I actually had a very funny conversation with a fellow filmmaker the other day. I was telling him, I was like, yo, man, he was like, yeah, man, these spaces like in Atlanta are really white. And I told him, I said, yeah, bro, like, but imagine growing up here and you want to go volunteer for Atlanta Film Festival and the person that's hiring you is white, all of your coworkers is white, everybody's white. There's no black people involved.
Right.
So that's what I had to deal with, like going into adulthood here.
Right. Trying to get into those spaces. Interesting. What are some of your inspirations, or who are some of your inspirations? And it doesn't have to be just film, like music wise, like what kind of inspires you to start getting creative?
At an early age or just now or period?
Just throughout.
I used to be a really big fan of this guy, James Lipton, inside the actor studio. I used to watch that all the time, and I loved his process of talking to actors, and I could write for hours. Listen, I still watch all of the episodes on YouTube, and that was really big. And specifically, he has an episode with Bradley Cooper and Dave Chappelle that changed my life. The Dave Chappelle thing, because he talked about he had a conversation with his father, and basically he told his dad, like, if I could make what you make doing comedy, I'm successful. And I was like, I'm gonna do that too. And then Bradley Cooper, it's just if you get a chance, you should watch it. It's on YouTube, but it's such a powerful episode of like him just being dedicated to the craft. Because, Bradley Cooper, a lot of people now they look at him as like, now he's a powerhouse actor, but when that came out, I think The Hangover was like his newest thing. So people kind of was looking at him like, oh, you doing this joke thing. And I'm like, nah, if you watch the Inside Actor Studio, this dude is dedicated to his craft. Like he left an Ivy League school to do his master's program at Pace University to be in the actor studio. So the actor studio, Gus Van Sant, really big influence on me because of Drugstore Cowboy. Barry Jenkins, all his early work, Spike, of course. But I was really inspired by film school. Because even though people say, like, oh, film school, you don't really need it, I do believe if you're a filmmaker, you should sign up and go take a film theory class. It'll change your life. Right. Because there was so much stuff I did not know about. There's so many movies that I saw at film school that changed me, that changed my idea of like, okay, this is what Like, you have one way of looking at stuff. Like, you learn about the dolly thing Spike does, or the close-ups that Barry do, and you think you know everything. And then you go back, and now it's John Cassavetes, is, Wes Anderson. It's all these things you didn't know about.
Right, all of the color theories and how like production design plays a big part of telling a story. So yeah, I do recommend going to film school. Also, like I've come across some filmmakers who say they don't even watch movies or TV shows.
That's crazy.
Right, like what do you say to that? Like I feel like to me, to be a great director, writer, producer, you have to watch stuff to even just get inspired, to know what to do, what not to do.
I believe that too, because like I said, being John is yesterday in the editing session, and there was a scene that has like the red lights from the neon sign, and we were talking, and I was like, John, you know where that's from? And he was like, what? I was like, it's from Paris, Texas. And we both was like, oh, and it's small stuff like that. Like I take so much from that. Like, I love John Cassavetes. I love Wes Anderson. Like, and I just was saying yesterday how I love putting my friends on, because even my mom, who has no interest in filmmaking, now looks at movies and be like, that wasn't lit well on the side of their face. Or why she asked me questions, because now she's interested in knowing,
right,
how do you get this shot? How do you do that? It's just, you should learn as much as you can. And you should watch as much as you can, because you never know what'll inspire you. Like I said, Drugstore Cowboy inspired the hell out of me. I thought that was like how people feel about The Brutalist. Like, it was that important to me. Like, I based my whole filmmaking career around, okay, I want to make movies that look like Drugstore Cowboy, Malinoches, My Own Private Idaho, Milk, and then it was Gus, then it was Wes Anderson. I had a Wes Anderson phase. Paul Thomas Anderson, that was the only thing I was watching. What's my boy name from the 70s? He died. I can't remember. He's an Italian filmmaker. But he has like, his movies are so good. But yeah, and you should watch, and my advice is really to watch foreign stuff. Watch as much foreign films as you can, because that's where you learn, like, because we can have this Americanized version of what you think you're doing, and then you watch Seven Samurai and your whole life changes.
Yeah. I like foreign films because to me, it's like, from an American standpoint, right, because it's foreign, you have to be able to read the subtitles and watch the visual as to what's going on at the same time. So it's captivating in the aspect because it's making you pay attention, because you have to keep up with what they're saying. But then also watching it from a filmmaker standpoint, whereas like American things, it's like you can get distracted real easy. You can just like check your phone, come back, and still know what's going on. So it kind of, foreign films challenges you as a filmmaker to be able to pay attention, right? Captivate your attention.
Right. And then I see problems in people's like work. So as indie filmmakers, like, when I say watch foreign stuff, I mean, you ain't got to watch everything, but it's certain stuff. Like, I think if you're trying to make movies, you have to watch Chun King Express and In the Mood for Love. You have to watch those two movies, because you have to understand, if you ever write a romance, this is how it needs to look.
What is the last thing you've watched, movie or television wise?
Oh, Train Spotting. I watched that last night. I've already seen it like a million times. That's also
Train Spotting. I haven't heard that one.
Oh man, you have to watch it. Danny Boyle, like, fire. It's about some kids that are heroin addicts in Edinburgh, in Ireland, and it's just their lives. Like, basically, they're ruining their lives, but it's funny, it's sad. It's one of the most messed up movies you can see about addiction. But it's so lighthearted and funny, and the ending, like, is great. But definitely go watch Train Spotting. Danny Boyle is a genius. And there's a sequel, T2 Train Spotting, that's even better.
Okay, Train Spotting. I'm going to have to watch that. So, like I said, Jacques' film Love Letters That You'll Never Read won second place at the film festival, the Indie Picture Show. So give us a brief synopsis about Love Letters and what inspired the story.
Love Letters You'll Never Read is about a character who simply goes by the Weed Man, who is a womanizer, and one day he meets a young lady that just captures his eye, and he falls just head over heels for her. And then she cuts off communication and he loses his mind. And it drives him to do things he's never done before, which is leaving love letters at her door. What inspired that? I had a really tough breakup and I wrote it in a day. And I was like, this is how I feel. And then it was about conversations we were having too, because we were talking about something along the lines of like, you know, ghosting, that whole ghosting thing on social media where like you might get ghosted by somebody you're talking to. And I took it a bit further. I was like, you know, what if that person actually died? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and then the whole time you think you got ghosted and like it was just an act of God that happened. And then I talked about how we're so used to not the old school way of checking on people that if you don't see them on social media for a while,
Right.
you automatically, or they don't text you back, oh, you know, they probably going through something. It's like, nah, what if it was like a real deal health issue or something? You wouldn't know what's going on.
Because you don't go pull up, knock on their door.
Right.
So I know you said that you wrote this after a tough breakup and you wrote it in a day. Talk to us about that process of writing in a day. Where you just like, you sat down on the computer and it all came out at one time? Or did you take breaks throughout the day?
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I actually don't write on the computer. I actually write on my phone. I have the Celtics app, so I just write on my phone. I really need to stop doing that. That's why I have to wear glasses now. I'm pretty sure. But I was just depressed, and I had Earned by Childish Gambino on a loop, playing really loud in my apartment, and I just was drinking, and I was like, man, I'm about to make the best thing I can make. And once I got the title, that'd be the biggest thing about my projects. Once I get the title, it's sold. I'm good. I just have to get the title. And the title hit me, and I was like, yeah, this is going to be one of them ones. And I finished it, and I remember I finished it, and I sent it to my friends, and they was like, this is dope. And we sat on it for a year until we got a budget to make it. But it took a lot to make it.
Right. So talk to us about the process of making it. Was that your first short film, or had you done something beforehand?
I had, me and the homies went to L.A. Back in 2016 when I was still in school, and we shot a documentary called Homies. It went viral on social media. That's how I kind of entered the film world a little bit, as far as like people in other cities and stuff knowing about me making movies. Love Letters was a tough process. The first problem was casting. We had 3 different castings. I could not get no one to be in the movie.
Nobody wanted to play the part, or
no one wanted to be in it. And the reason why is because, so 2016, I made Homies. Homies was like my resume for years. And we get to like 2020, I put out my second book, That Goes Everywhere. So now people are kind of forgetting about Homies and remembering me as a writer. When 2022 comes around, I had been in a Jordan commercial. I had done a bunch of other stuff. I put my own shoe out. They like, you don't make movies? Because now that's 6 years ago. So it was hard trying to like break back into the film industry because like I didn't know platforms like yours existed, AVC. So I'm just basically going through the creative community trying to get people to sign up. And nobody was messing with it. Shout out to my boy Bodega. His girlfriend and her best friend ended up playing the lead female roles that we needed. Olajuwon Howard, who plays the weed man, I've known him since he was 15. And he came and that's the thing. I had dudes coming. I couldn't get a girl like to come cast. And he wanted, and I gave it to him. Great job in the movie as well.
Yeah, I feel like that role really fit him.
Yeah, and he did really good. And then we kept, working on stuff. Shout out to my boy Buck. He gave me the money to make the movie because the real issue was paying a real DP, which I could have saved $3,000 and made it, but he believed enough to give me the money and let me do it. And we produced the movie, and we shot it in 48 hours in a loft downtown, and at my homie Black apartment in his car garage. That's the car scene in the beginning. But everything's at that loft. Mm-hmm. And we shot in the hallways. We shot everything downtown. And, you know, it was a great experience. And it was my first time really really running a set. Because I didn't run a set when we did Homies.
Right. Plus, that's like a little different documentary style. You kind of out and
Yeah,
about.
this is my first scripted.
Right.
The first one I had a script for.
Right. But that was good of a friend, nice of a friend to give you the money to go ahead and shoot because they believed in you enough. They saw everything else that you had going on to be like, you know what? I trust you.
We ended up kind of falling out about it because it was a business investment, but we ended up kind of falling out about it. Things didn't go the way I think they wanted to and how we wanted to, because you got to think we shot the movie, we had the movie, and then I put it in probably 15 different festivals, and we only got into Black Vancouver, so they never really got a recoupment on their investment. Then they wanted me to put it on Tubi, and I said, nah, I'm going to hold off. I want to build my catalog up a little bit before I give it to a distributor. And then, you know, so we kind of went our separate ways after that.
Interesting. And I also think people who don't understand how filmmaking goes and just want to be like, all right, I'm going to give you money to make it, and I want my money back. But it's like, it's not that easy.
Yeah,
it's not that easy. So it's kind of like you're going to have to write this off on your taxes because you're not getting your money back.
Especially shorts. You might as well just say you donating the money.
Right. It's a donation.
I've only seen like maybe 2 shorts my whole life actually get, like, somebody bought it.
Right. I mean, but nowadays they do have platforms where they're distributing shorts. I think Revolt does have a block where they do shorts. Aspire has an indie block, but that's just literally recent, like past year or two.
Right.
But before then, it's just like, to make a short is just an investment. Like, you believe in me enough to help me build my portfolio and don't expect anything in return. So how did you, I know you said, like, you know, before you did a documentary and this was your first scripted, so how did you approach it differently? Going into making a documentary, how did you approach that? And then how did you approach this work?
I'm going to be honest with you. Shout out to my nigga Jacques Lester. Jack really was like the catalyst to Homies. Because what happened was I was in film school, and they used to let you, at University of West Georgia, they let you sign out a camera over the weekend. So first day in class, fall semester, I'm getting that camera every weekend. It's a Panasonic AVC 200. I'm running around Atlanta just shooting stuff and dropping it on my hard drive. And what was going on was the class I was taking was Intro to Film Production. I think I cannot remember that lady's name. I just know her first name is Stacy. But Stacy's class was easy. The whole class was making an exhibit film. I'm like, oh, I'm about to make my exhibit film now. So I went to Jack's apartment, where at the time was like a creative incubator too. Everybody was coming there, taking pictures, making beats, working on rollouts, designing merch. They was doing all that stuff in his apartment. So I was shooting all of that. And I took some of it and I made a 10-minute cut called Homies and Introspective of My Creative Friends. That was my exhibit film out to get out the class. I got an A on it. I tell him, I said, man, I feel like there's something more here. He's like, yo, we should go to LA and make it a real film. And then just between us hanging out and stuff, he was like, yo, I'll buy you a ticket to LA in January. Come with me. So he went to Texas. Something happened in Texas. He had like a spiritual awakening or something. He goes to LA. I meet him in LA. Me, him, the homie Travis, and my boy DeCarlo. We all out there. And the whole time he has a camera, but it's not like I'm directing anything.
Right.
I'm kind of like just talking. And he shoots the entire thing, the entire trip. And while we out there, I called a lady from iDrum. This is when iDrum was on Broad Street with Mammal Gallery and all that downtown. And the lady at iDrum was like, yeah, I have a opening Friday. You want to show a movie? I said, yeah, we shooting a movie right now. It's going to be ready by the time we get back, which I want you to think about that. We're in LA, and I'm calling her like, yeah, that Friday, I get back Thursday. That Friday, the movie's going to be ready. I don't know why we did that.
So you got to edit. What happens to the editing process?
No, that's what happened. So Jack comes back Thursday morning. He's editing for 24 hours. And I come back Thursday night. And Friday, he shows up at 7:30 with a completed film.
Oh, wow.
Mind you, I haven't seen any of it. So we watched the movie. The screening was packed. And like I said, we put it on Vimeo, I think, like the next weekend. And that was a big deal of it being on Vimeo. Like, people was writing about it, reviewing it. And it was big. It was a big deal. And this time I was a little more explorative. Because, like, prime example, we get on set. I remember the morning of, everybody had to take a COVID test. Mm-hmm. One of the girls got COVID. So she can't show up to set. So I remember Cam, shout out my boy Cam James, funny dude. He was like, so what, you want to reschedule? I said, brother, this money has been spent. we are shooting. I don't care if we shoot some homeless people fighting. We gonna have a movie. So I had to, the girl who ends up playing, like, the girl he had sex with. Mm-hmm. So originally it was 3 different girls. Mm-hmm. So the girl in the car was her, Jasmine Cooks. And Jasmine came up early the next day to shoot the sex scene. I had a whole different girl to shoot the sex scene with. Because it was supposed to show he was a womanizer. Right. But then we ended up having to use the same girl. So we had to make minor script adjustments. I wasn't as nervous either. I kind of was confident. Every time something went wrong, I kind of was like, all right, give us like 30 minutes. Let me figure it out. Right. And we just kept making the movie.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you just got to be able to think on the fly. Like, time is money, literally, in this industry.
And it was already, the entire budget was spent.
So we got to keep going. So we were talking earlier, you said you just wrapped another short. So talk to us about that project, give the name, the synopsis, and kind of a background of how that one came about.
Got you. Pocket Full of Blues, coming summer 2025. A tragic story of when you're chasing your dream, but your partner is just tired of the dream. And the conflict that happens. Mm-hmm. I'm going to keep it like that. I don't want to give up too much for the movie. Mm-hmm. But basically, what happened was in 2022, I made a play called Pocket Full of Blues, Money Can't Buy Happiness. The play was like my first time trying to do some theater stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was a really cool experience. And then there's another movie that a lot of that's close to me know about that's called Oxytocin. Can I tell the story about that? That leads in the Pocket Full of Blues.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
So what happened was right after we shot Love Letters, there was a guy who offered to finance my next movie, which was Oxytocin. Oxytocin is a 48-hour acid trip love story. Really fire. But it was going to cost me around $12,000-$15,000 for the effects. Mm-hmm. He agreed to get the money for me. So I went and casted the movie. We'd had reads, everything. We was ready to shoot.
Right. I was in prep.
We was done with prep. We're ready for production now. Right. And he pulls out last minute for the funding. And he says he can't cover it. And I was really depressed about that. And so I said, okay, well, I'm going to take Pocket Full of Blues, the play, and convert it into a script format. I'm going to make it longer, too. Right. And that took about 6 months. And then I met John. And then we just been working and going back and forth. He came on board to make the movie. I've had the people cast it for a long time. Because some of the people that was in this was supposed to be in Oxytocin. Mm-hmm. And now we was able to shoot the movie this past February after like 5 months of prep, casting, multiple read-throughs, and we had a full cast. We had a great weekend. We shot for 3 days. And I think it's really cool. It's really good. It's a good filler. I'm kind of making a universe out of my movies. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So it kind of attaches to Love Letters a little bit, and then my next one will attach to Pocket Full of Blues. Right.
What is kind of like your favorite thing about directing and writing, and then like your least favorite thing?
My favorite thing is being on set. And I love, because every time we shoot, I have like the little mini monitor. Mm-hmm. So I actually walk out of like where they're shooting at. I don't want to hear anything. I want to look at it on the monitor as if I'm seeing it in real time and have the headphones in. And I just love that. Writing, I love getting finished. I love the finished product. I love reading through it and being like, wow, did that. Least favorite part of production is I try to keep my scenes at a minimum because Pocket Full of Blues has about 10 different scenes. And like when I tell you we was on a clock from the time I got off work Friday to Sunday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, okay, rap, let's go. Rap, let's go every 3 hours. And that's tiring.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my least favorite. My least favorite part of writing is starting.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the start. It takes forever for me to start.
Right. Writing is hard. Writing is hard, especially like I would say for me, because I have a master's in writing. And so I wanted to be a perfectionist. Like I want my stuff to be Aaron Sorkinson every time. Like I want it to be the best. So it's like if I don't have like the mindset to do it, then I'm going to sit back and then like I'm not going to write anything. And like you said, I have to push myself into starting because once I start, the stuff starts flowing out and like it becomes natural. But it's like, oh, now I'm stuck again because I wanted to be like the very best. So then I have to go back into my shell.
Yeah, because 93 Days with You, which is the one after this, the next one I'm doing, it took me so long to get started. And I had the concept the entire time. I would tell people what the movie's about. They'd be like, oh, when's the script going to be ready? I'm like, we're working on it.
Right.
And I finally did the outline Monday. Wednesday, I did the brainstorming. And I do this thing where I take sticky notes with character pieces and I put them together. And then I take scenes and put it under that. And I put the ending at the bottom. And that's how I can start writing. Mm-hmm. I have to see it written out, right, how it's going to flow.
Right, yeah, I outline too, and then like be stuck at outline and not even move the script because I'm still trying to perfect the story before I get to paper.
Yo, writing and directing is like, shout out to people that could do both, but that's a lot, man.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, because now I'm trying to like move out of writing because it's just so hard. I find directing easier than writing because the stuff is already there. I just got to bring it to life. But to actually get it on paper, oh my God. So what have you learned about yourself along your creative journey so far?
I've learned that trust the process. Just trust the process. Because like I said, I'm in multiple industries doing multiple things. Mm-hmm. So some things work, some things don't. And then you have to understand that everything you're doing is just adding to the resume. And that's a hard thing to tell creatives because we always have like that one thing we're so sure is going to work. Mm-hmm. And it'd be like the complete opposite of what you've been working on. Like I told a joke the other day to my friend. I was like, it would be hilarious if not Pocket Full of Blues, but if Love Letters was like the one that got me like a deal, like a first look deal. Mm-hmm. And we're so far past Love Letters.
Right. But I feel like it's timeless. And it really could though, because like, although you said you shot it then, when I watched it, when it screened, I was like, oh, this can play 10 years from now and still be relevant.
You know what's so crazy? I was not going to submit it because I felt like it was old work. And then I was like, you know what? It's good. Mm-hmm. So because it's good, I'm going to submit it anyway. And when Bianca like picked it up to screen, and then I'm seeing people like who've never, because when we screened it, it was a lot of people that saw it. We had 3 different screenings and they were all packed. So I don't know why in my little like side of the world, I think that's a lot of people, right. 300 people, and that's not. And now I screen it at y'all's things, and like now I have people I didn't even know like who are filmmakers. Like, man, like, let me know when your next one coming out, man. It's crazy. So that's another thing. Keep pushing your old stuff because your old stuff might open the door too.
Where can people find Love Letters? Do you have it like on YouTube or Vimeo, or are you keeping it tight?
We're trying to. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rework the press kits, and I'm gonna submit both that and Pocket Full of Blues this time around, so they can have a choice. Mm-hmm. And then if Love Letters doesn't get picked up again, I'm going to put it on Tubi so everybody can see it. But I don't think it belongs on YouTube. I think it belongs on Tubi. Like, mm-hmm. even though it's only 15 minutes, you should be able to watch it on Tubi.
Yeah. I say, does Tubi accept shorts?
I think so. I've seen something like 30 minutes on there.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that. Look, we have to look into Tubi, put stuff on Tubi. Like, Tubi ain't bad. People be talking about Tubi, but hey,
Tubi-
Tubi be having like some gems. Even the bad stuff be interesting.
The bad stuff just overshadows it. Tubi has a library of very classic movies.
Right.
You can see a lot of stuff on Tubi that you can't find nowhere else.
Right. And it's free. Like Tubi is free. So earlier we was talking about some of your creative endeavors, the Blue Room Studios, showcases that you have. Can you expound on that and then talk about anything that you may have coming up, a show or something?
Yeah, man, Blue Room was a dream. I always wanted my own venue because I've been throwing shows since 2015, and I always wanted my own venue. So I finally got it over there in East Point. It was a Airbnb loft, and we converted it into like a open DIY space. Mm-hmm. And it's cool, it's a cool hangout. Y'all been, y'all been. Mm-hmm. And I'm just in there inventing, like just working. Right now, I'm lying. We do have we have mad stuff coming up. Okay, there's Sunday service, which that's our free open mic night every last Sunday of the month. Mm-hmm. I cook, and we have people like come perform for free.
Oh, cook food?
Yeah,
oh,
it's free food. It's free
food
for everybody.
For the food.
Yeah, it's free food for everybody, and we've been doing it a lot. It's really been a community building type thing because there's people that come that don't perform, but I look at it as one of the best showcases in Atlanta for people that are trying to have a community because somebody will perform and they by themselves and like the people in the crowd will be like, yeah, keep rocking, mm-hmm. It's real community based. So I got to keep doing stuff like that.
Right. What is your goal with Pocket Full of Blues? You're going to put it in festivals also?
Pocket Full of Blues, I just want people to... I feel like Love Letters did not have a lot of dialogue because I was not confident in my writing. I am 100% confident in my writing in Pocket Full of Blues. Mm-hmm. Like, it really touches, like... I'm going to put it up there with, like, Diary of a Mad Black Woman, dialogue-wise. Like, it's really good. It's a lot of, like, moments where you're going to be like, I feel you. That's what I'm going for. I'm going for that. I want that screening. I want to hear some laughs. I want to hear some effects. Like, we're going to have a loud response.
Yeah. Are you going to do a test screening before you submit it to festivals?
No. We're going straight. No, you talking about, yeah, we are. I had to think about what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
To get some feedback,
Yeah, the plan is we're doing screenings in multiple cities. So we're doing a screening in Birmingham. I'm trying to do one in Tampa, Jackson, Mississippi. Just in different places I know creatives at, Little Rock, Arkansas. And just screen the movie and probably add an event element to it.
Right.
And let people enjoy it.
Yeah. That's cool. Well, keep us posted on that. We'll keep our listeners posted on that as well. Outside of your creative endeavors, as far as Blue Room and Pocket Full of Blues, what else do you have, coming down the pipeline that you see yourself or that you're excited to do in 2025?
I want to finish my third book because I've had the title and the book cover design for like at least 3 years. Mm-hmm. And I wrote 10 pages and I just have not been able to move past it. Because I wanted to write it before I turned 30. And then when I turned 30, everything happened.
Life was lifing.
Well, no, not on the bad end. Like, everything went amazing. That's when I got Blue Room. That's all that stuff happened. So now I'm 31 and I'm like, do you need my book now of, like, how to, work as a creative? Or do I need to wait till I'm, like, 35? I'm struggling with that.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to write it this year. And maybe I'll make a mini version of it and put it out.
So it's a nonfiction book.
Yeah, it's called It's called Can't Nobody Stop This Shit But God, a creative strategy guide to not giving up.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll be excited to read it. Talk about your other books. Were your other books fiction or nonfiction?
Oh no, they're all nonfiction. A Child Sings in the Ghetto was a collection of poems I wrote when I was a youngster running the streets and being a bad guy, and it was like helping me kind of express myself about what was going on, the chaos going on around me. The Play Don't Care Who Make It, affirmations, and something for creators in the field. I can't remember the whole title, my bad. It's been a couple years since I read it. But it was all affirmations. It was just affirmations for creatives. And my homies, all of the homies wrote a chapter about their creative process in the book. So it's like half affirmations and then half like 10 different creatives writing about their creative process.
Right. What is the process like of putting a book together, and how is it different than putting a movie together?
Writing a book is a little bit harder because the editing side of it is harder. I did not, to this day, I still haven't had nobody edit my books. I wish I did. I'm going to say pay somebody to edit the books because I know I got some grammatical errors in there. But yeah, and then you have to set it a certain way, and I use Amazon. I went through Amazon KDP. They're like the best people to use to self-publish. Mm-hmm. Barnes & Noble has a tool too that you could do it through. But I used both of them, and I like Amazon's better. You upload the cover, you upload your manuscript. They give you an option to buy your own books wholesale at whatever their actual price is. And then you can pay for it and put it online, and you'll get a royalty check set up. Mm-hmm. It's a little more profitable than making a movie.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because you get a royalty check every month. I still get a royalty check like every single month for my books if somebody buys one.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So we're about to wrap up here. Go ahead and let everybody know where they can follow you, follow your work, keep up with Blue Room Studios and everything that Jacques has going on.
Got you. Twitter and Instagram at BIGJOCATL. Twitter for Creators After Dark at CADRECS. Instagram at Creatives After Dark. Instagram for Blue Room Studios at The Blue Room Studios ATL.
Well, Jacques, is there any last words you want to leave with the listeners today? Any words of inspiration, affirmations?
I got it. What my boy Denzel say? Fall down 8 times, get up 10. See you at work.
Okay. All right. Fall down 8, get up 10. See you at work. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you. Be sure to check everything he has going on Twitter and Instagram. And we are out.